What's going on, guys? It's Chad here, and I wanted to thank you guys so much for, I think it's 20 subs on our channel right now. It's crazy thinking we only have 2 videos and you guys are already supporting that with 20 subscribers. Thank you so much for the support. But I wanted to tell a little story about how I crashed my car off of a cliff. And it sounds super unrealistic, but let me just get right into it. So my friend wanted a ride up to this town that's kind of like 30-40 minutes away from where we live. And it's because his grandma lives up there. She lives in a super nice house in these hills. I am astonished at how she owns so much. It's because she owns a Mary Jane's. Like, she owns the whole franchise up in, like, I forget exactly where, but she owns a shit ton of Mary Jane's. And so I decided to drive him, and we rented a prom house up, like, near his grandma's house, and we decided to go check out the prom house. And I didn't know exactly where this prom house was. I don't remember. It was almost a year ago at this point. And we drove up this gravel road. It was a long gravel road, and I thought it was where the prom house was, but obviously it wasn't. And so we're driving up this long gravel road, and we get to like this RV. Like, it's not a super ghetto RV. It's a nice RV. And I was like, oh crap, this is not the right place. And he's like, shit. And so I drive a Saturn Ion, and that's not a good car to drive in gravel. And so I just decided I'm going to get to the top, and I'm going to turn around, and I'm going to go down. And so I've never really driven in like loose gravel with my car until this point. And we're like kind of sketched out because it was super steep, and I don't know, I could see the cliff. I wasn't going to like intentionally fucking drive my car off the cliff, but I was like, alright. I turned my music down because my music slaps in my car, and I turned it down. I was like, alright, I'm like, don't try not to fuck me up because this is sketchy, dude. He's like, alright. And so we decide to slowly go down it, and all of a sudden I start picking up a shit ton of speed, and I was like, fuck, what the fuck? And so I slam on the brakes, and we slide and hit this like wooden pole that would show like where the ends of the road are, and we hit the wooden pole. The wooden pole goes flying, it lands in these bushes, and my car just keeps going. I thought that pole was going to stop us, but my car keeps going, and we slide to a stop it's like right next to the blackberry bushes, and I'm driving, and he's on the edge, and I'd say the cliff was probably like 40-50 feet like up, and I didn't realize it was like a steep drop. I thought maybe like it just slid off to the side, and so we decided to sit there for a second. I was freaking out. He was like, shit, and I could feel my car tilting a little bit. I was like, fuck. And so I hop out my side, like my door. He couldn't get out of his door because the bushes were like stopping his door from opening, and so he had to climb on my side. Like while we're doing this, the whole car is shifting. It's literally about to fall off the cliff, and I am freaking out. And I thought my dad was gonna kill me out of anyone. I don't know why I was so scared about my dad fucking being so mad, when in reality I should have just been fucking scared that I could have fucking died. And so we're sorry, my phone went off. We're running, like we're like next to the car. We're scared as fuck. The car's just sitting there, and it doesn't fall completely, but it's basically off of the cliff. And we're like, we don't know what to do. Like, do we call 911? Because there's no way I can reverse my car. Like, if we even touch the car really that much, it's gonna fall off the cliff. And so I texted my dad and told him, and then ended up calling 911. And of course, since we're in the middle of nowhere, I had cell service, but it was shitty as hell. And we're in the middle of nowhere, and of course, just to my luck, the cop doesn't come for like 3 hours. And let me tell you, it's in this middle of summer. It's hot as fuck. I think it was like 90 something degrees, and we're just getting hit by direct sunlight for like 3 hours waiting for the cop, and we're sitting there without any water, and we go around like asking all these neighbors like, hey, can we get some water? Like, no one answered their doors whatsoever. They fucked us over, but it's okay. We decided to go down to like this river which was right next to it, and we swam for a little bit, and we get back up to my car, and this lady that lives in like this lady and this guy, I think he's like a park ranger or something. He lives up in the trailer that was up at the very top. Super nice trailer, actually. And he's like, oh, well, you're gonna have to pay for my pole and shit. And so he didn't even like care about us. He didn't even give us water or anything. We asked him, but he came through with water like at the end. But it was by that point like my dad already brought water. But I kept sending my pictures of the car to my dad and like my family, and from the pictures it looked like the car was just flat. But it was literally off the cliff. If I can, I'll probably throw a picture up on here. If I can't, oh well, I'll just fucking fuck, who cares. But it was fucking crazy. And I thought for sure we were gonna die that day because fucking no one was answering their phones. Like, we were gonna have to spend the night up there. It got to the point where it was dark as fuck. And not even my dad was like answering his phone. And so my dad eventually picked up his phone and came up. And he didn't believe the car was like off of the cliff. It was hanging off of the cliff. And it took one tow truck came up because our insurance company was taking fucking forever to send one up. So we just decided to buy one, like fucking call one up. And we call it up, and it's a nice ass tow truck, let me tell you. It's like one of those super nice tow trucks. And I thought it was gonna rip my car right out. Like, I thought I was just gonna pull it right off the cliff. It was just gonna be fine. And of course, the tow truck, it pulls it, and all of a sudden, bink. Car, it just started sliding off the cliff. I was like, nope, this is it. I'm not gonna have a car. I'm fucked. And the tow truck, of course, the wires are super fucking strong, so it held my car there while it's basically dangling off the cliff. And he calls in another tow truck to come basically help hit the tow truck, which I've never heard of before. And the tow truck takes like 30 minutes to get there, and it pulls it out. Finally pulls my car out. But no damage to my car, and that's what the most surprising thing was to me, that there was no fucking damage. And so we get the car out, we drive back to his grandma's, and the funniest part about this whole thing was that this guy wanted us to replace the pole that my car hit and broke, because it was like a cemented wooden pole. And this pole, like, it was broken as fuck. Like, there was no way we were gonna put that back on. And he wanted us to come like cement a new one on, and we kept telling him like a certain date, and we were gonna go do it. Like, of course I'm not gonna like fuck him over like that. We were gonna go do it. And he like wanted us to do it a day that I think I was taking the SAT or something, and I couldn't do it. And he like flipped out. He's like, I'm gonna sue you guys. Like, I'm gonna come up, I'm gonna call the police. They're gonna fine you for like trespassing and damaged property and all this bullshit. And eventually my friend just blocked his number, and I don't think we ever talked to the man again. But it was a crazy ass thing that happened. Like, we were up there for a good hour and a half. It was fucking sketchy as hell, but yeah, that's basically it. I hope you guys have a good day, and I'll probably see you tomorrow.
Hard point is ours. All CDP assets degraded.